Hello, I'm FPX and let me share with you one of the most satisfying things in Minecraft because I have a few stacks of iron that I've just found while mining casually here and there, excavating for some project or another. As you can see, 5 simple stacks. It's not a huge amount of iron. However, when you take this iron and you give it to a fortune-free pickaxe, things get really fun because now you can get a ton of raw iron. This has been true since 1.17, but it's one of those features people have kind of forgotten about because of how much harder iron seems to be to find in 1.18. However, because iron is actually very heavily concentrated in certain areas, if you know what you're doing and you have one of these fortune-free pickaxes, you can do some really cool things. But first, here is my 5 stacks of iron. I'm going to place them in one big tall tower to the sky, and we're going to see just how many raw iron we can get from this. This is something that is just always going to be endlessly fun to do, and so let's do some of that now. Although apparently by the time we get to sky height, we've taken so long that we've already, hit nighttime. But now we finally get to have the most fun of all, which is mining it with a fortune pickaxe. Some would say that this would get old eventually, but just seeing that you already have 5 stacks of something, and now those 5 stacks become much, much more than 5 stacks, that's enough satisfaction for me as far as I'm concerned. Okay, I'm just kidding. The best bit was actually watching that little segment in fast forward and then doing the same with this one. We came down so far from the tallest part of that tower, but we're still 50 blocks above the surface. And that is just a testament to how high Minecraft's new height limit is. But anyway, while we're on the subject of time, obviously mining iron yourself, whether that be silk touching it or just fortuning it directly from the caves or the cliffs you mine it from, obviously is something that people haven't done in a very long time. Mostly what people do instead these days is they have an iron farm, but 1.18's goal was to at least give different ways to get iron, and so the question is, does it work? Can you get enough iron for a reasonable person's needs in a reasonable amount of time? Today, I'm going to be running that test. Obviously, the most effective... Okay, well, that's probably not ideal. The most effective way to get yourself iron is still in terms of per minute efficiency. It's going to be to go through all of the effort to set up a farm. If you're curious, people abuse the mechanics of villages and iron golems, and it's one of those farms that's existed so long it's going to exist forever. Don't worry, they're not taking it away. But like that's the way that iron farms are meant to be done, or if you're talking about per minute efficiency. But if you want to actually take into account the fact that like building one of those farms takes time and effort and other things that you don't have unlimited access to, what happens when we mine for 30 minutes? How much iron do we get? Is it enough to have a reasonable amount stocked for a long time? Because I have so much raw iron right now. Like seriously, I have just a ludicrous amount of it lying around. And this is on top of the fact that when 1.17 first came out, I mined myself so much iron that I have a stack of bean blocks here, also known as raw iron. And so I've got all this raw iron I need to smelt up, but is there a reasonable way to smelt this, and is there a reasonable way to gather enough of it that I don't need an iron farm? Let's find out today. Today, we're actually going to be making some premium furnaces as well, because they're going to be made from deep slate instead of cobblestone. Wow, what an improvement, I hear you asking. What's the difference? What do you mean, what's the difference? Anyway, so that said, we're going to grab some iron. I do have... We'll just smelt up some iron, in fact, so we can make these into blast furnaces, and then we can witness the results. So here are my blast furnaces, and I think the time has finally come to replace the room behind the furnace wall, which currently is a potato farm. I don't know why there's a potato farm here. I have a bigger potato farm elsewhere, and I've never taken the potatoes and done something with them. Also, some of the water is frozen. How did that even happen? I think now is the time to take this room and repurpose it into my mega smelting for iron, gold, and copper room. And so let's do precisely that, shall we? And so for now, let's throw all of our iron that needs to be ironed out into a lovely little hopper right here that we can later throw into a double chest down here. Again, we'll work out the finer details on this later, but for now, boom, iron goes in. We could smelt said iron, if we wanted to, using some coal. This is definitely one of the resources in Minecraft, but the problem with coal is it eventually runs out. Wow, look at that. A coal just went missing there. Coal is not infinitely renewable. It's renewable using wither skeletons, okay, but I refuse to do that. So, coal is renewable, and, it works. But I'm gonna work out a better solution. But for now, let's just put all of the iron in here and deal with this later, shall we? Oh, we need to mine the ceiling just above that block there. Sure, that works. And let's go ahead and just throw all the iron in. I guess we should just use a barrel for precisely that reason. And then let's beam block all of our beam blocks. And as you can see, wow, so much iron. And then that all has to go in there too. And you're starting to see how, like, yeah, you don't actually need that much mining time to get a lot of iron. But let's prove it. 30 minutes, me versus the mountain, let's go. First though, I'm finally gonna re-equip this Totem of Undying that I lost at the beginning of last week's episode, very tragically. And we're also going to go ahead and make sure we have all the other supplies we need, including putting away these little 2 small amethyst buds, because I don't know why I have them anyway, and also, hopefully, repairing this pickaxe. I'm switching it out for a diamond pickaxe with just unbreaking, because every now and then I like to go back to how things used to be, to then be immediately reminded how things can be now, with this beautiful silk touch and efficiency netherite pickaxe. But still, you gotta go back to your roots sometimes, am I right? Speaking of roots, we're now gonna head over to a mountain biome, because I reckon there are 2 great strategies for mining iron. If you look at this map right here, you can see that very clearly the 2 strategies are either to mine for iron veins down below, which is inconsistent, and I've been trying to mine some and I still haven't found some. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but again, if it's so hard to do, then that to me strikes it as being something that's more chance-based. But if we want something that can guarantee us a good result within 30 minutes, I think we go up to the top of some mountains, and so let's go right there. Okay, we're gonna let the timer begin, and we're gonna start mining some iron ore on this mountain, and we're just gonna skip the process. We're gonna go straight with a fortune-free pickaxe right here, just to save the process of doing this later, because it was very fun to make the big tower, but it's also fun to do it this way. And as you can see, like, the first thing we immediately head into was an iron ore vein, but because this is a mountain, it's not even that high of one, we're gonna find a lot of iron ore just all over the place. If you want to find iron, in the first 30 seconds we found 40, which is really good in my opinion. That, like, I think that in general, the way that they've done this is they made it kind of skill-based. But yeah, in case you're curious, like, why do you go through all of this effort, Toycat, just to not have an iron farm? Surely at some point you should just do one of those iron farms. Or, like, why did you say something negative about a wither skeleton farm when that would provide all the coal you need without having to do all the weird lava stuff you're gonna do later? Like, what's the deal? Surely you should just accept the better way by now, Toycat. Or at least, like, even if you're gonna use coal, can't you just mine it while you're here anyway? And, like, it comes in such huge quantities, it's not a big deal. But to answer the question about farms, do you want to know something weird? Every single time, especially on Bedrock, on Java, they're much more, about, like, keeping things how they are. But on Bedrock, every single time an update comes out, loads of mob farms that used to work don't work anymore. And a lot of mob farms that have kept working all this time on Bedrock use clearly broken mechanics, like, if you throw a trident, but you keep the trident in the air, that trident counts as you killing something. And that's been in place since 1.13, because otherwise they'd remove a whole ton of farms, but accidentally they remove farms, and on purpose they remove farms that they never really wanted in the first place. Basically, making farms on Bedrock is a very different process that also, it's going to be less efficient at its peak, but also the fact that you have to change it every single update defeats the point to me. Sure, if you can go through 1 hour of effort and remove the need to ever make iron ever again, I can vaguely get on board with that, I can understand that. But it's not how it works. If you want to make an iron farm, or a wither skeleton farm, you have to make that farm now, and then you have to, like, sit there and let it do its thing, because it only works when you're really, really close to it. And then when an update comes out, as they do very frequently, Bedrock used to have an update every 2 months. We're now an update twice a year to every year, but still, then that farm is going to break in some weird way that you're not going to understand as a person. Why did it break? Better go on YouTube and watch a tutorial to understand why this farm that, honestly, in some cases you don't really understand fully in the first place, why it broke, and it's not that fun. And so, yeah, on Bedrock, I would say making automatic farms is fun, but it's definitely not the only way to progress, and if you like being in control of your destiny, it's kind of important that you don't. However, if I'm being honest with you, is that my honest reason for why I don't make farms? No. I think that it's like hard to admit, but when it's happening. But it's one of those cases where I clearly have a stubborn reason, which is just it is not the way I like to play the game. And people keep asking me, and when people ask me for something, I'm much more inclined to not do that thing. You know, just ask the server videos that I've been making so many of and getting requests for because people want to be in them. But yeah, basically, you know, like I think that it's one of those cases where you use the reasoning that's in front of you because it's a better argument than what you have for the thing you already believe. This happens all of the time. It's like almost frustrating how often people clearly don't believe a thing, but they know it's a good argument. You know, I know there's trillions of examples of this in the world, but like, you know, coming down into politics, people they work out that just being against something because it feels unfair is not as good as saying, well, it's a poor economic argument, or you know, it's actually really you know, it's not just enough to be like, I really like this thing because you know it's this really important cause. We should, you know, like I just feel right about accepting people this way. It's like, no, actually, we've always accepted people this way. For 25,000 years, this has existed, and so therefore that affects what your opinion should be now. You know, like yeah, coming up with reasons that sound like they're better than your reasons for why you believe something is kind of cool that we do that as a species in the sense that the best arguments can propagate to the top. But it also means that sometimes you're not really arguing with someone about what they really believe. You know, if you try to have an argument with Farms with me and you say, oh, Toy Cat, you see, it actually doesn't matter about Bedrock Farms changing because as of 1.18 they've confirmed they're going to keep parity with Java, and so that means that, you know, like all the mob farms are going to get closer and closer to Java ones, so just build them now and they probably won't break, trust me. And I'm going to say, nah, don't believe you. Not because I don't believe that's a compelling argument, although actually that was a terrible argument. But you know, pretend that was a really good one. I'd be like, nah. And the reason why is because my actual belief is a much weaker one in just that's not how I like to play Minecraft. I am enjoying this little mass mining process because I feel like I'm being rewarded for my smarts of knowing the higher up you go, the more iron you get. Even on this relatively low-lying mountain, how much iron have we gotten in what amount of time? It's been 5 minutes and we have almost 4 stacks. That's pretty good by itself, but then bear in mind that if we can find a bigger mountain, and I think I saw it just a second ago. I thought there was a bigger mountain this way. No, there is one. Okay, I wonder what... Oh, I guess I was further in the mountain. But now there's a mountain that goes all the way up to basically sky height, or to 256. Sky height is now higher than 256. But there's a mountain over here which goes up way higher. And if we fly over here, as you can do once you've, you know, gotten to the late game of Minecraft, which admittedly is where all of these points about, like, this is how everyone can do it, also breaks down. Early game Minecraft is different to late game Minecraft, and to a lot of people, the shift is from switching to mining manually by, you know, going and doing stuff like this, to actually making the farms. Okay, let's see how much better it actually is up here, because theoretically, according to the map, you know, the one map, the one we keep pointing to, it should get better and better and better, but because there's fewer stone blocks here, and also there's more of them are covered in more of them are covered in snow, it seems. Maybe that balances out. Maybe what you really have to do is you have to uncover all of the blocks first. But here you can see more iron ore. How wonderful. So yeah, I think that a lot of people don't realize it, but like why they think they do something or why they say they do something doesn't line up with why it actually is. Which is really, you know, like you know, the biggest example would probably be like smokers or something. Like when someone's doing something harmful to themselves, it's so like. It's the easiest thing in the world to beat them with, like, why are you doing this thing that is harmful? Did you know it would be less harmful if you didn't? And, again, from a purely utilitarian mindset, oh, wow, you're right. I could cause less harm to myself, and then inevitably to the healthcare system of the country I live in, and then inevitably to people that I care about if I don't do this harmful thing for myself. Wow, good spot there, friend Toy Cat. But obviously, like, the people do all sorts of things that are bad for themselves. And it's not that, again, like, you know, the first time you, like, see someone that you know or care about smoking, you're like, oh, you should stop this, it's bad for you. And, you know, like, you're almost expecting them to be like, whoa, wait, really? I didn't pay attention in that class. When did we learn that putting cancerous chemicals in your lung is gonna shorten your lifespan? Wait, they're expensive too? I wasn't paying attention to the price of these cancer sticks. Wow, I am shocked to learn about. Thank you, Toy Cat, for enlightening me about the world. Like, you know, like, you know, when you first like approach someone about some even like self-destructive behavior like that, that's the response you expect to hear. But then you realize, like, oh yeah, no, that they're always aware of it. Like, one that I've only like had like I've had a lot of interactions with people with not I don't want to say eating disorders, but like disorders in the way in which they ate. See, there we go. We're not using a stigmatized term now. Flip this one on its head, and like you know, like people are very good at hiding it. So like when you spot it, you're like, oh yeah, here's this thing you might want to be aware of if you wanted to eat a healthier amount, then you're kind of failing on that one. And like again, like I had the same thing of expecting them to be like, oh wow, you are right. The amount of calories that a person should consume in a day is generally recommended as, you know, 1,800 to 2,500, and I'm eating a third of that. And you know, like I'm not even trying to. It's my instinct. No, but that's not how that works, right? We when it comes to destructive behaviors, we have to hide them behind this veneer of like, oh no, I just have a low appetite. Because no monster could say, oh, I don't care what your appetite is, you will eat till you're healthy anyway. Or like, oh yeah, I just really enjoy the taste. Because no monster could be like, you will stop eating or putting in your body the thing that makes you feel good because it is my moral superiority. However, you can use that argument to like, oh, wow, this person doesn't know they're doing something bad, better forcibly stop them, or whatever the argument may be. Also, I thought this went way higher, but it only goes up to 200 blocks. What a disappointment. This music is good mining music, though. Yeah, I think because there's so much less stone cover here, I think we would be better off just either heading down to where there is less, or just honestly flying back to the same mountain. I definitely need to go to sleep, but that's a separate problem. So yeah, let's head this way. We're going to try and get any iron we find on the way. Just, again, while heading places, you can find so much. But yeah, hopefully this is indicative of the fact that we're 10 minutes into this challenge, and we found 6 stacks of iron. Although we found 4 in the first 5, so yeah, that's a sign we should go back to where we came from. Which sounds offensive when we say it that way. In fact, even in this half an hour, we'll include sleeping time. Oh no, look at this wall here, and the amount of iron we can see on it. Just going down that, like propelling down these mountains and getting the iron that way. Sounds like a lot of fun. In fact, maybe a fun way to do this would be like no flying version, just to really see how it is when we're like having to scaffold up to mine these blocks. Because that's one of the pains of like the biggest pain of caves is that you have to like, oh god, I have not slept in a long time it seems. Yeah, I guess we'll go do that. Oh, this entire village full of villagers has despawned because of the bug in 1.18. Oh no, there's one guy left. We got one villager in this entire place. Oh god, let's hope he doesn't get phantom to death. Yeah, you know, at one point I mentioned before all sorts of things that are wrong with this update. Do you think it's like a bigger concern when it's like, okay, there are some preferences that I would have preferred being different, you know, that actually have altered things quite dramatically? Like again, the way that so many things spawn in, the amount of cave biomes, like you know, what do you think is more important? Like changing the good things to make them better, or changing the disastrously broken things to make them less broken? Because it's weird. If you look at, you know, if you were to guess and use human psychology, you would assume that the majority. Oh wow, look at this. Whoa. I'm coming into mine. This isn't even an effective place to mine iron. I'm just coming in here anyway because I am curious. But if you looked at human psychology, you'd probably guess that people would say, yeah, fix the disastrously broken things. Like, I don't care about how many cave biomes there are when my mobs are despawning. My villager literally disappeared from my sky tray. Like, I spent 10 minutes getting a villager to sky height, and then he despawned within, like, 5 minutes because of a weird bug in 1.18. But if you look at, like, kind of objectively, Minecraft is an example of a game where they've never just done this, okay, we're gonna have bug fix all the way. We're going to fix every bug that exists, or that's the overwhelming majority, because, you know, they're always working on features, and it seems as though that's a working strategy. Eventually the bugs become accepted as features in their own right. Like, you know, there's so many weird examples of things you have to avoid, but stuff like the nether roof in Java, you're allowed to access it. You're not meant to be able to access it. It's not intended game design, but people use it for all sorts of farms, and they've taken advantage of it. It could be really terrifying being trapped up there if you didn't know why you're up there, and, you know, they could fix that, but instead, it's like, yeah, well, we can get more benefit. Once you know how a feature works, or a bug works, you get more benefit from it existing than from it not. Obviously, like, a bug like this despawning one is mostly negative. There's very little we can say in the ways of, like, oh, well, this is really handy for simplifying, you know, mob grinders or something. But, like, you know, the reality is like, actually, it's quite hard to see the positive in these sorts of things. I'm mining so much coal here as well, it seems. And so, yeah, there is... Also, I guess the pro tip is if you want to find iron, just come to a stony peak. So I think it's called the Jagged Peaks. I forget the name of it. It's a stony peaks as far as I'm concerned. And you just come here, and there's so much iron around that you'll never be bored. Anyway, so yeah, you would have guessed that the best thing to do would be fix the bugs first, do the other thing second. But apparently, that is not the thing that Backspot's lined up. Anyway, so what I was saying before oh, is this copper or is this iron? Just in a weirder light level. One of the things I was saying before, I really do believe that, like, trying to speak to someone about their toxic, you know, like a toxic themselves behavior, or even toxic to you behavior, it's really hard because, again, there are so many great justifications for all things that people that are bad themselves. And, you know, like, that's what those justifications kind of allow. When we pick up other reasoning besides our own, we pick up a reason to keep doing the questionable thing. Like, oh yeah, why do you, I don't know, why do you do the one really popular drug that is legalized in some jurisdictions but not others? You know, it's not my personal preference here, but it's some people's. And instead of being like, oh yeah, well, it allows me to relax sometimes and to... No, it's like, oh no, man, it's like got loads of health benefits, dude. It's like, no. It's okay to have things that are bad in moderation. Like, that's... But it's so much harder to make the argument for, like, it's bad, but it's only slightly bad, than it is to say that, oh no, actually, it's really good. Like, I don't know, like, something that is objectively better for... You know, like a better efficiency point for everyone. You know, like could be, yeah, I know. Let's pick a dumb example. Like, you know, nutrition is something that is relatively black and white. Like, every person has slightly different needs depending on their exercise, but there is no space for anyone that I can think of for just, I don't know, two pints of Ben and Jerry. I don't like that I call it a pint of Ben and Jerry's. That is me being Americanized, by the way. Like, we don't call them. They come in like 500 milliliter tubs here. But I speak to too many non-metric. You know, we don't use metric here anyway. But all the way. You know, I don't like that I call it a pint. That's a different measurement to what I'm used to. And you know what? It's not an accurate representation. But you know what I'm talking about? A tub of Ben and Jerry's. One tub of Ben and Jerry's is already very questionable, right? Because it's like, you know, there's lots of chocolatey style snacks mixed in with ice cream, which is very, very, you know, it's very dairy intensive first of all, and then it's very high in sugar or whatever else, and then it's like mixed in with, and it's like, okay, so 2 tubs of that, never justifiable. So should we say to people, you can never buy 2 tubs of Ben & Jerry's from the store, or you can never eat 2 tubs of Ben & Jerry's. Let's just make it a law where you can't do that. And then people would say, oh, well, you couldn't ever enforce a law where you stop people from eating 2 pints of Ben & Jerry's. Even though that would be probably better for the populace if we could ban that as a whole, right? Or, you know, to pick something that, like, doesn't seem like I'm just trying to, like, pick on, like, weight as an issue here. And instead be like, how about, you know, people who only eat, like, one food because when they were a child they weren't exposed to enough foods and so that's all they can do. Like, you know, like a boy that can only eat cornflakes because he ate cornflakes as a child and then he never learned to like anything else. It's like, well, you know, the tough learning that should have been done in childhood was to learn to like other foods, but it's so hard to force that in there. And so, rather, like, I think most of you watching this video, I can't imagine any of you agree, like, yeah, actually, Toycat, we should mandate what people eat. Most of you are like, no, this is a terrible idea. What are you suggesting? How are you even suggesting? Are you suggesting in, like, good faith, like, wholeheartedly, that it's actually a good thing if we control what people eat? But instead of jumping to the whole, no, I just want to have the freedom to choose what I eat because I have different tastes at different times and I want to be able to meet those tastes myself. That's one of my bodily autonomy. No, you're going to say, actually, think about it this way, Toycat. Some people do have such weird needs that couldn't be necessitated this way. And it's like, ooh, yeah, you're right. Choosing food for yourself is a good thing. Most people choose bad all the time. And just to clarify, I'm not on some high horse. I choose terribly all the time. For lunch today, I've got... So for breakfast, I just had a cereal bar and a tea. But like a cold tea. So is that even a thing? I don't even know. And it was a Ceylon tea, in case you're curious. That's from my homeland, so I'm allowed to represent it. And then I'm having some doner meat and chips for lunch. And then for dinner, I'm torn between having like a pizza. I have an oven pizza that I really am excited to eat, but my oven doesn't work. So assuming I don't get the oven to work, it's gonna be some wacky solution. Like I'm just gonna have. You know, I guess I might just order pizza actually. But yeah, like it's Monday. There's one of my favorite pizza places in London. Don't want to say what it is, but it's Voodoo Pizzeria's. They've got 2 stores in London. I don't know why it's only 2, and I don't know why the 2 stores have different menus to each other. But you know, welcome to things I'm confused about. On Monday, it's only £3 for a slice, which is only slightly ripping me off when compared to the normal price per slice. I found pizza by the slice. It's wonderful. And I'm going to buy 8 slices worth of pizza. You know, like get a full pizza, but in different slices, which is the dream. You know, why do not enough pizza places sell pizza? Anyway, you get what I'm saying here? Like, I'm making terrible dietary decisions all the time anyway. I have ordered food like 7 times this past week. Do you know, I don't know what the recommended amount is. I imagine 0. But like, if there was going to be a recommended amount, it'd be like 0 to 1. I have exceeded my takeaway allowance. And so, obviously, just to clarify, I make bad decisions too. But it's just the point of proof of like, yeah, we don't argue always from what we believe in. We argue from what will allow us to keep doing what we want to do. I've said this before, but so many interactions in life, you know, when a chegger interacts with you, a charity beggar that is, when you're like, you know, like when there's a confusing salesperson or like whatever, an interaction. My attitude in life is like, please, what is the combination of words that will get you to leave me alone? Just, that's what I want to know. That's what becoming an adult is working out, you know, like, ooh, this guy wants to, get, you know, like, stranger that you've just met wants to get into a political argument. Ooh, that's dangerous. What do you say? You go, ooh, yeah, I don't really follow the news, so much, and, I don't like that drama, or you say something like that. Or you say, oh yeah, you're right. Or like, if they want to sell something to you, you're like, yeah, let me just consider this, get back to you once I've spoken to my wife, you know, or whatever. Or you can just say, like, let me go home and get the money, even, which is a great strategy, by the way. Yeah, I think I've literally taken, I keep thinking I've taken all the iron, but then I find another 1 or 2. So maybe I'll never take all the iron. Maybe it's just fundamentally impossible. So yeah, we're 20 minutes in. We've got a literal inventory full, although that's mostly because my inventory management is very bad. But you can describe most things as my inventory management is very bad, and that's why I have this problem. But it hasn't stopped me having the problem yet, so... You know, actually, let's just to prove a point here. Let's mine some... Sure, let's... Also, actually, I've got a whole shulker box here. So let's throw the iron in there, just so we can keep that nice and in one place. Yeah, that's 10 full stacks we have now. 640 iron in 20 minutes. If you can keep finding new biomes like this, that would average out to, you know, a full 2,000 iron per hour. Which is pretty nice. Plus, unlike an iron farm, you get the experience when you smelt it. Plus, I've heard there's a weird furnace bug in current Minecraft. They're fixing for the update that's probably coming out tomorrow. I don't know for sure if it is. But there's an update likely coming out soon that will fix whatever that is. But I hear there's a furnace bug that people like and they need things to smelt with. Why not come to one of these biomes? The answer is because there isn't enough here for me. And there's not another big cave, another big mountain anywhere too soon. I guess we could fly over the top of that one and see where it takes us. Yeah, it's good a solution as any, I guess. If it doesn't work, I'm just going to mine calcite, and I'm going to prove that, you know, we could do 2,000 now with this, but I'm here for the calcite instead. So yeah, let's kind of fly through this way, enjoy ourselves, see what happens. Okay, so here's my big move. I'm going to go into the graphic settings real quick, and I'm going to find myself what I can see within the max render distance, just to get a real feel for what we have going on. Is there any other stony mountains? There's a pillager outpost. There's a frozen peaks, which is terrible for what we're trying to do right here. Yeah, I guess these 2 mountains, which happen to be right pretty close to me, are probably the best options. Huh. Yep, that's what I'm seeing. What are you seeing? Okay, so what I'm going to do, just to kind of like flex on what I can do with an hour even while I'm doing other things, I'm going to mine myself some calcite real quick. Because you know what? I've been wanting some calcite for a while anyway. Here is calcite with a Silk Touch Efficiency 5 Netherite pickaxe. And here's what Minecraft would be like if we didn't add enchantments. No efficiency. Actually, this is pretty fast. I guess calcite's just an easy to mine block, huh? Honestly, this isn't that big of a difference. I was just about to make like a whole like, wow, look how much slower things used to be But honestly, I can entirely cope with that just as well as I can cope with this. We're going to take a whole little calcite vein off the mountain here. Partially because we might uncover some some iron underneath it. It's unlikely, but you know what? We can argue that's why we're doing it. But mostly just because I want some calcite. I was thinking, I want to make a whole island out of calcite. Wouldn't that be fun? The trick question. Of course that would be fun. And so yeah, okay, we got it all. We got all of this. We better believe we're going to have it now. Yeah, it's surprising just how much calcite you can pick up in how little time. And also, as you can see, iron ore reveals itself. So this is a valid strategy all of a sudden. Yeah, maybe just mining to the center of a mountain, or like mining through it, genuinely makes some sense. Like, hypothetically, if I was just to run through here with a silk touch pickaxe, how long until I find a vein of iron? Just by coincidence, because again, I'm like quite high up, 100 blocks from the surface or so. Apparently long enough that it's not worth doing. We found a cave. Yeah, honestly, what you want to do is you want to find a mountain like this that has a cave coming through it. That's where you're going to find the best peak combination, I imagine. But we didn't find that right here. So let's get some... so we can get some light in here. Guess we'll just leave this tunnel spawning mobs for time to come. And yeah, now let's use the last 5 minutes or so we have just to quickly check. I'm going to quickly just find out what sort of rate do we get when we go into a cave. I'm going to find one of the biggest caves near here because, again, I pre-found this cliffs because it's the first cliff I happened to run into in this update. So let's go into a cave that I found that I really liked. The entrance is somewhere in this jungle. I don't know where, but it's not that big of a jungle, so it shouldn't be too hard. And it does go very deep, and it's a lush cave, so maybe that messes with things. But it's not a dripstone cave, so we're not messing with the copper spawn rate. Let's just see what I find in what amount of time. I think it's somewhere in the bamboo. I think so. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Little entrance right here. Go through the bamboo, just do some little loops. Isn't this fun? Isn't this what Minecraft is all about? And as you can see, iron ore. It won't spawn below a certain layer. Actually, it will, but it's weird how it spawns below certain layers. But for now, let's just take advantage of some free iron raw. Yeah, iron raw. There we go. That's what I should call it. And so yeah, we want to go low down, try and find an iron vein. We've got just a couple of minutes to do this. In the meantime, we're picking up random bits here and there. But then again, this was always possible before this update. But here's the funny thing. Even if you do want to go caving for your iron, because you want to also find other things, like these beautiful lush caves, maybe you want the spore blossoms that come with these as well. Oh wow, look at this. There is a ton of iron in here. But because caves are so much bigger now, that means they surface more blocks, i.e. more blocks are at the surface because there's more surface area. You know how, they made the biome bigger? And so, you know how like that when you increase the size of a ball by, or like a cube by two on each size, so you double the size of the cube, you're actually timesing by 8 the area, and you're like tripling or quadrupling the surface area. It's weird, quadratics. Look into it. That's not the correct term for it, but you look into it anyway, see if it helps you. But yeah, even if you're just going around these caves randomly, you're gonna run into a ton of iron. Not quite as much as in the mountains, but when you add in the fact that you might find an ore vein if you're really lucky, again, you have to go a lot lower down than I'm at for that, it starts to seem pretty worthwhile, right? It starts to seem like it's something that is worth doing to some extent. So let's take these scaffolds back. Probably shouldn't have left them here to begin with, honestly. And then, yeah, if we add in the deep slate, iron ore 2, which takes slightly longer to mine. Look how long it would take with a pickaxe. Oh, we can't be doing that. I guess this is the same as with this. But, yeah, everything is slightly better when you've got access to bigger caves and bigger cliffs. Every single mining task that you want to do is easier in this update than it was before. Like, we always focused on the nerf aspects of like, oh yeah, well they made diamonds harder to find when it's exposed to air. Or like, your traditional diamond mining, the layers and all that stuff is kind of nerfed. But even though there is some truth to that, there's also some truth to the idea that just, actually, everything is easier now. The amount of iron we're finding, and the fact that each of these iron is now worth up to 4 individual ingots, which means you can get a block of iron from just 3 to 4 iron ingots. In fact, 2 to 3. 3 being the very minimum, but you could get lucky and you could do like most of the... Whatever, you get the point here. It's very, very fortunate. It's very convenient. And the one downside to me is I haven't found an iron ore vein yet. They supposedly can cover thousands of ores over a huge space. If you get lucky and you find one, that's incredible too. Of course, you should do that. But for now, we are just approaching the end of my 30 minutes as we speak. And so the amount of iron that we found sits as thus. I have 10 stacks sitting in my shulker box right over here. And then on top of that shulker box... Oh, is this a vein? If it's not, I'd be surprised, right? Like, we've been going for a while. But, I guess we're in a pillar, so we can't be. But yeah, we've got a full 2.5 bit stacks on top of that. 13 stacks of iron in half an hour, and most of that half an hour was spent goofing around. That's a pretty good record. And, okay, I'm going to take these as well. Wait, how is the scaffolding staying up? Is this a bug? I found my own bug. I've always wanted to have my own bug. You know, usually the bugs that you hear about are other people's, but this is all mine. So now if we break any one of these, of course, the ones above it will fall. But now I know how to make scaffolding in midair. I wonder if we can... Wait. Let's see if that's repeatable. I need to find this out right now. Okay, so... we'll ignore the creeper for now. Creeper will not ignore me. And so yeah, if we go over here, we place scaffolding... Oh, it doesn't even let me place scaffolding on most of them. It has to be a regular azalea, not a flowering one. And so now if we move the block below the azalea... Oh, it still stays. Yeah, this is very useful stuff. I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know why. But if you want to take advantage of a bug, there's one for you. Anyway, speaking of bugs you can take advantage of, I'm gonna head home now. And we're gonna do the smelting process. It's a little bit hard to get out of this cave. I mean, harder to get out than in. Am I right? But yeah, let's head home. Okay, we're back here at the base. The first logical thing to do, in my opinion, is to load down some more chests. I need to have some places for the weird 1.8. You know, I need to put my calcite as well, is what I'm politely saying. And then also what we need to do is we need to build ourselves a lava system. I think sometimes what is hard to admit once you put a lot of work in something, like, say, a lava cauldron bucket, is like, oh yeah, this is in the wrong location. And honestly, something that I've realized about myself, like, as a human, is that even if something should be, you know, like, oh, it's only a 7-second walk away, the fact that I have to go 7 seconds is enough to put me off from doing it in the future. Like, it's really easy to say, oh yeah, humans are lazy, but it's really hard to admit that you're a lazy person. I know an example of this is, like, I find it really hard to, like, I don't know, eat food that I know I've got to eat, if it's not, like, directly staring me in the face, right? Is that a problem? Who knows for sure. But anyway, basically, as well as having this little lava farm up here, I think it's important that I make one that's actually inside my base that I can use for day-to-day tasks, like, let's say I need to smelt a whole chest full of raw iron that I've gathered. And so yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I have precisely that. Here is my lava, and then we're going to go downstairs and we're going to make sure we get some dripstone and do the other half of this. So yeah, the Let's Play recently, I've been having a lot of fun with it, mostly because of this like kind of slightly more laid-back attitude, and also I think something I've realized is like the things we need to cover in videos is different. There's always like this big thing at play between what do you want to do and what do other people want from you that I think we struggle with as a whole from the world. You know, kind of like if someone says, hey, you shouldn't do this very bad activity for yourself because it hurts me when I look at you doing it. You're like, but shouldn't it matter what I want? And you know, in artistic fields, people always assume, oh, no, what matters the most is, like, what I want to do art-wise, right? It doesn't matter about anything else. Only 2 dripstone from this automatic farm. Also, some dripstone grew on the hopper. That doesn't even make any sense. But I guess we've got another one now. So we're going to take our 21 dripstone, we're going to take our lava buckets, and we're going to build some cauldrons, and just make a miniature automatic lava system, just so we have something that works all of the time. And so yeah, let's do that as we climb up here now. Okay, so it's simple. We take some of the iron from here, and we use it to make cauldrons. And then all we need is pointed dripstone, some glass, and those very same cauldrons. I'm going to use glass panes just because I have glass panes lying around that I think I bought these from villagers for some reason a long time ago. And I figured it would make the lava effect even more impressive, all things considered. Actually, wait, can you place a dripstone underneath one of these? If you can, that's going to look pretty cool. Wait, maybe if we do, like, one of this, we can? Oh, we can't. Life is ruined. We could have another block be an intermediary, maybe? Or we could give up on our dreams, like you have to do most of the time in life. Anyway, so what we're going to do instead is we're just going to, for now... Actually, so there's a space... Oh, there is carpet up there, so we can't mess with it too badly. Instead, we just have to... I guess we could build the... Okay, we'll have a big glass pane layer going around us on the ceiling here. It's not going to be quite as pretty as I would have wanted, because it's touching walls and it's not doing fun things. But that way we can keep the lava kind of separated. Yeah, this will follow around. And then where the potatoes are right now... Ooh, I did not think this one through correctly at all. I guess, honestly, let's just move it in one block. And that way we'll have slightly fewer lava cauldrons, but they will look slightly prettier, which, as we all know, is the important thing anyway. So this is where all the lava will be. Then there'll be a layer of stone or something, I don't even know. And then after that, we can have the dripstone. So all the way around, nice and simple, nice and easy. Remove the little trimmings around the outside. Grab some of the calcite that we just put away, because you know what? We need to use a block somewhere, and let's celebrate one of Minecraft's most recently usable blocks. Fill that up from underneath. And now we play the fun game. Yeah, this looks like it should have lava pouring out, but it won't pour out, which is where the fun will arise. So we're going to be very careful about it anyway. But lava goes there, and then lava goes... Oh no, okay, everything's fine. Oh, the lava just melted the ice. I was worried that water was flowing, but it was just... Okay, we're fine. 2 lava buckets, and everything's good. Now we just need to put some pointed dripstone where potatoes are, and then cauldrons where the grass is. And so we remove both those things at the same time, and you'd be surprised... Oh god, my inventory is always a mess, and I don't even know how. Okay, we just replace these with some cauldrons. We'll keep the water around the outside, actually, just as a reflection of what this used to be. And then there we go. Look at this. Oh, this cauldron's in a dumb place. But look at this. I think you'll find that whether by accident or not, we have in fact done a thing. And that thing is useful. Somewhat. And because I'm just going through my base so often... This will activate a whole ton, and there'll always be lava of some form to activate. And now if we can just move these potatoes somewhere useful. I've got a little... Again, it's a little bit of a pain to walk through. You would prefer this being a block higher up, but again, I make compromises where compromises need to be made. And yeah, I think also just for prettiness reasons, even though we don't need it, I think having all 4 corners be lavaed in, just to have more of a consistent kind of level going on here. Yeah, that does something good. I like this layer in between. It's kind of fun. And so yeah, we've now got automatic lava, and then we just come in here, remove the water, call it a day, and boom, we're done. What happens if the lava tries to drip into a water cauldron? Really, it should make an obsidian cauldron, technically speaking, right? But it doesn't. It's sad. So now we've got to add another hopper on the side of this that fuels it with these lava buckets, because as you can see, my coal is running out. And then boom, we've got ourselves all the iron we could ever want. And so now a chest goes over here, a chest goes over here. We turn this chest, using some of the lovely iron ingots that we now have, into a hopper. And we have worked out the automatic blast smelter, which is a little bit overkill, but honestly at this point that's what we're mostly going for, right? We want to have some fun with it, and so why not do that? So here is the hopper, which will go in on the side, because if you fuel a furnace from the side, that's how you get the actual stuff in there. Now we can have all the buckets come in, and wait, how are they all... Did I do something wrong there? Okay, no, they're just in the hopper. And so yeah, now there is a source of fuel, which means we have a source of all of this stuff. We could also do the same on the other side, and we're totally going to, until we have ourselves a fully functioning little hopper system, which is great. And then also, we place the last of the cauldrons around over here. I think I can actually pick this one up. Last of the cauldrons round, and now, as you can see, we have a full little system. And we've also proved that you can get iron without needing an iron farm, as I intend to do for a long, long future. I actually really like the way they balance this, because at first my thought was, yeah, we still haven't made iron easy enough to get. But I think requiring you to actually know stuff about iron before you can do this is a good step, first of all. You know, there's a knowledge, like, being rewarded for knowledge is a good thing, most people would agree. But also I feel like it means that if you need millions of blocks of iron, or you need tens of thousands, you still might just consider starting an iron farm, as opposed to spending hours mining, if you prefer it that way. And I think, in general, like, it's one of those things that felt wrong, because really, again, when you're on one side of the thing, you're like, yeah, my side is the best side, the only real opinion is my opinion. But, like, you know, realizing that, like, even though I hate farming because of all these reasons, whether it's bedrocks, you know, like inconsistent management of farms, whether it's the fact that like it doesn't feel like the fun bit of Minecraft to me, or whatever it is. What matters is not saying, ooh, those people who do that thing that I don't personally do because I don't like it need to be dissolved in a vat of acid. No, it's more like, okay, can appreciate that they have different wants and needs and whatevers, and this is a fun way to manage that, in my opinion. And also, I like that we've kept some of the farmland as a little homage to what this used to be. I think that, in general, there are more effective ways to do this, but to have a little miniature farm, it's something that can work in an early, mid, or late game base, and that's kind of the thing I like. Anyway, so this has been episode 531 of the Let's Play. I don't know how we got to so many of these, but we did, and I guess we'll do 500 more. The intention is still to leave them here on this channel, and the intention is to do a few weird things over the next few weeks, so I hope you look forward to seeing those. Let me know what you thought of this video, where we mined literally thousands of blocks of iron, or thousands of raw iron, I should say, iron raw, and I guess I'll see you all in the next one, unless I don't. Goodbye. Wait, this is an opportunity for me to remind you that you can become a channel member, because YouTube sent me an email saying we're doing a push to tell people to become channel members. Why didn't you tell them? But like, no, I've been saying this forever. Like, if you want to support a channel that you like in ways, especially for videos that aren't like the biggest of big hitter successes, but are important to you personally, of course, memberships are a great way to do that, or you know, direct tips, whatever it is you can do. Again, I like supporting things I care about. Maybe you do too, or maybe you don't. In which case, hope you'll enjoy the video regardless, because I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.